Unexpected Journey, Memoir of a Siberian Deportee by Juzė Avižienytė-Žukauskiene. Translated from Lithuanian and narrated by Giedrė Kumpikas, niece of the author, and by Isabelle Kumpikas, the sister of the author. Chapter 32, Collections Again. Again, the tax agents swooped down on us. Again, a verbal battle. I saw that as much as one gave, they wanted still more. The former collections had been voluntary, but now the war tax was obligatory. As hard as I fought, nonetheless, having sold my down comforter, I had to pay 300 rubles. It meant that for about a month we had put them off. And when they demanded more, I answered that I had given money for my husband. Otherwise, the commandant would not give him permission to go to the farther settlements to trade for some food. And my sons agreed to give up their entire earnings. In the summer, it was easier with food. Our vegetables and potatoes had grown a little. Even though we were very thrifty, we ate them little by little. One time, a local Tatar boy, there were 3 families of them here, seeing that I had pulled out some turnips for the children, jumped in surprise. "Auntie, what are you doing? It's still not grown." Okay? "In the fall, it will be 3 times as big, and they're so sweet, so good." And the boy swallowed, his mouth watering. I cut a little slice for him. "It's all right, Zahir. Maybe the war will end in the fall, and we won't need them. We'll go to Lithuania, and there's plenty of everything there. We also want to leave here, but the militiamen say, 'You will croak here,'" said the boy in a sad voice. My heart was heavy to see a child already so hopelessly disposed. Once an agent came led by the regional chairman. I was sitting in the office and was preparing the account. And again the old song, "Zukauskiene, give me the money." "I don't have any. Take everything I've earned. We haven't received a single kopeck for our work yet." "Don't try to be clever. Do you know how much interest has accrued? Pay up right now." And I, having run home, so to speak, to get some money, pulled out an IOU from the Soviet government, still from the year 1918, for my unpaid salary of 1,010 rubles, and I stuck it under the collectors' noses. The resources of the Soviet government are not like mine, and even they did not have the means with which to pay me, and instead of money gave me a promissory note. Just calculate how much interest the Soviet government has to pay since 1918. Together with the principal, it would be 72,000 rubles. If the Soviet government pays me my salary, I will pay you not 600 but 6,000 rubles. They became confused. But they had to yell and use scare tactics because they were yelled at in turn by superiors for their inactivity. "Why do you keep her in the office?" she shouted at the chairman of the collective farm. "Send her to clean toilets, to uproot tree stumps. Such types have no place in an office." The chairman, always rather favorably disposed towards me, looked at me in confusion while I, not at all intimidated, fired back. "Your orders do not touch me. You are not my superior." I pronounced the last words with emphasis. They were surprised at my insolence and became even more furious, while I was happy that he was powerless to frighten me. "So, who is your superior?" "I am the regional chairman," he yelled. I shrugged my shoulders coldly with indifference and said, "Don't you know that I am a member of the collective farm? Well, I admit that I am a collective farmer, and here is my superior." I indicated the chairman of the collective farm with my eyes. "Where he sends me, there I shall go. He sent me to pull flax, I went. He sent me to the drawing room, I went. He sent me here to the office, I work. If he sends me to uproot stumps, I shall also go. Big deal. She uprooted stumps, she didn't complain. Whatever another person can do, so can I." The chairman of the collective farm was looking at me on the sly. I could see that he could barely keep from smiling, while the collectors, having exhausted all of their attempts, obviously disarmed, did not know how to keep their dignity. And as always, in such circumstances, they only said, "Go quickly, look for some money, and bring it here." The Soviet army defended Moscow successfully. but Leningrad was still blocked and the Germans were still moving southeast. Although the Information Bureau was announcing the victories that our army had withstood the onslaught, elsewhere it withdrew in an orderly fashion, leaving 1 or 2 points to the several times more numerous enemies, but still we had the feeling that something was not quite right. Working in the office, I would frequently snatch a newspaper sent to the commandant or the chairman. I was not able to read much on the sly, but once in the newspaper, Sovietskaya Sibir, I found an article, I don't remember the title, in which it was written, "Our friends the Americans are not pleased that the Soviet press is informing its people very little about our, understandably, the American support of the Russian army. And to that we announce that our overseas friends have sent us a listing of how many tanks, how many cannons, how many machine guns, ammunition, telephones, electrical wire, everything in the tens of thousands. I remember only distinctly 2 million pairs of shoes. For us, this was a sensation. I informed our Lithuanians about this immediately. I did not hide it from the Russians either. From that time on, the commandant strictly forbade the letter carrier to show the newspaper to anyone, but to bring it directly to his apartment."